Hello everyone. Last weekend I won Calling London with Briar, and I got another one of these. This isn't the real one. The real one is with my friend Philip because it didn't fit in my bag. But man, what a weekend! I was so excited to make this video because last few weeks I've been on the content grind and yeah, I was really happy to win it and I'll take you guys through my weekend, what happened, my deck choice. Yeah, hopefully you like it. So yeah, I went with Briar obviously. I didn't play a lot of Briar in CC, so it was fun to get to explore a bit more. I joined when Everfest started, but I've always liked Runeblade and Elemental heroes. Heroes are always broken, so yeah, it was pretty nice to explore. So yeah, why I ended up on Briar, like the new cards came out. I knew Briar had won the last Sage Battle Hardened, so I was immediately interested in her because Chain got banned, which was kind of a big difference. Everyone I knew was like saying, yeah, Chain's still the best deck, but then they surprise banned Chain and everything changed. So yeah, I started to look at Briar, got really interested in her, and like immediately all my prep was just playing the same Briar list over and over just to get a feel for it, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. The thing that was very scary though, that I felt like a lot of people knew Briar was the best deck straight from the start. So it felt like the deck with the biggest targets on her back. That made me doubt a lot, but somehow I still kept playing her, and that's something I usually have is I just get stuck with one hero and try to perfect it and not consider anything else. Yeah, that's what happened again. So yeah, then at the world premiere I played only Briar, but I still wasn't sure at all if I was gonna play her because there were so many options. I was looking at Kano, I was looking at Enigma, I was looking at the Decimator Fang build, my friend said build who I was staying with. And I just said like to myself, okay, at the world premiere I'm gonna play 3 side events, plus the world premiere as well, and I'm just gonna decide the day after what feels best, because yeah, I've no clue. So yeah, the world premiere started. I got my Enigma precon. Never playing Enigma before, so it was really fun, and I immediately felt like, holy, this deck is broken. Like if an aura stays on the board, it is so good. So I went 3-0 with her, and then wanted to split the last round to get a quick break in. And I played against Spanish guy Mew, and we just said like, let's just split. But then they said, okay, you guys are on feature. So it was like, okay, yeah, we kind of want to break. But then I was like, okay, feature match is kind of also good for the content. So it was like, if you want, we can go on feature. And he wanted to, so we went there. We played a very funny game. We both made some mistakes, and I ended up closing it out. And then only to find out the 2 p.m. Shield event, I think it already started. And I looked at the coverage, but there was the backup stream. So I felt a bit funny to have like to spend like a match where I thought it was on feature, but I just wasn't on feature at all, which was quite funny, and that's why how I missed it too. Or like the 1 p.m. sealed, they couldn't get lunch, couldn't open my boxes, get any new cards, so I was like panicking a lot. So yeah, the first side event, my plan was just to get the new Briar cards, and yeah, play Briar with the new cards, see how she felt. Because the main thing I was scared about with Briar was the fatigue stretch. I felt like Briar's weakness was the fatigue aspect, and with Briar being the most represented, I felt like there would be maybe a lot of fatigue players out there, but yeah, I'll get to that soon. But okay, Briar wasn't an option. Luckily I also had a Kano deck build, so yeah, I got dropped round 1, had to re-enter the tournament, and in round 2 I played against a Briar, funnily enough, as Kano. And yeah, I never I never played Kano before, really. I played some games in Blitz with him, but yeah, it's quite difficult to play. And it was kind of funny that Martin Holik, Auxilio player, He's very good at the wizard. He started watching me, and I was like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't think I know what I'm doing. And I just lost the match. Talked with him and another guy about Kano after, and then I was like, okay, Kano is just definitely not for me. I'm just gonna drop from this event, get my lunch, get some rest, hopefully get the cards. The line for the boxes, I don't know if you guys were there, but it was so huge at the start. Like it felt like 1 kilometer long. So I wanted to postpone getting into that as long as possible. But yeah, luckily someone, Matthias Verbeek, Belgian player, gave me one of the sprout strengths I needed, so I could play the side event with Briar, like with my full list that I had. So yeah, I played Briar, and it went pretty well, I think. I'm not sure how I finished. I think I finished 3-1. Something like that. I don't really remember anymore. And then for the 5 p.m. I was pretty tired, so I just sat there round 1 to get my promo and went back to the Airbnb. But yeah, at that point I felt a little bit unsure because there were of course a lot of Briar, there were fatigue players, and my friends who was staying with, their Decimator Fang their Decimator Fang build was winning all matches in our Airbnb, so I was like really getting nervous about my choice. Was like, okay, if everyone starts to fatigue me, I didn't really know what I should do. So yeah, we went back to the Airbnb, had a nice dinner, and then we started just prepping for the real tournament, the calling. So yeah, I just was in freeze mode. I just didn't know what to do. I just was thinking about the meta. I was actually building an Enigma deck myself. Well, I don't deck build at all. I never I never played Enigma before. I don't know what got into me, but I was just like building Enigma because it worked well in the Premiere and I thought it was powerful. But yeah, at some point the time started really ticking. Got like midnight. I didn't know what to play yet. And then like at 2 p.m. Or like a little bit before that, actually, I messaged a friend of mine, Bartosz Ziemba, a really good Polish player. Got like 2 Pro Tour final finishes. And I also borrowed his deck list for Pro Tour London, which of course went very well for me. I finished top 4, which was like my first big accomplishment, and was all like with his list. So I just said to him, hey man, can you please bless me with your list again, because I have no clue what to play. So he sent it to me. I was really happy with it, but the only thing was I just didn't have the cards. So I was like, okay, I can't play this list. I'll just play my own Briar list and see what happens. Then somehow at 2 p.m. I played 3 games with Decimator Fang, and I was kind of locked on that list. And I played 3 games against my friend Philip. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fatigue Briar because he played Briar, and then he beat my ass like 3 games in a row, and I was like, okay, never mind. If Briar can win against fatigue, I'm just gonna play Briar. I don't really care anymore at this point. Let's just lock it in. I'll see if I can get cards tomorrow, and that is it. So the day of the tournament, the morning, Rainer, English player. He luckily had the connections with the store. He works for Thistle Tavern. He got me the cards I needed for the Briar deck that's in front of me. So I was really happy because that was Bartosz's list. And yeah, that's how it started. That's how the tournament began. So before I get into the matches themselves, I just wanted to illustrate like what I was prepping. Like this was the deck list that I was playing myself. As you can see, it still had Reaping Blade in it. It had a lot more equipment, like it played the Blade Beckner plating, Bloodied Oval. I thought this was somehow good in the mirror. I played 2 Razor Reflex because I was so lost in the fatigue matchup. So I was like, okay, I know the attack reactions are really good, like Lightning Press, Burn Up Shock is what you always want to go for. But I felt like I had too few of those ways, like to cheese the fatigue players. So I was like, okay, just adding 2 Razor Reflex. Hopefully I can cheese some games with against fatigue. Yeah, as you can see, I played like Fry, Flittering Charge, Electrostatic Discharge, And this is like my philosophy with decks, and it really was a level up for me this tournament. My decks just need to work on offense. Like, I always really like when I can play every 4 card hand I see, and I can say no blocks to everything my opponent is doing and convert my hand and put on the pressure. But this tournament I really learned these cards aren't very modular. Like Electrostatic Discharge, it doesn't block and it gives +3. So yeah, best case scenario, it gives you +3, which is of course fine, and it can give Flithering Charge go again, and it can increase the power of your snatches. But it doesn't block, so it's not very flexible, as you can say. And this was a problem I would run into a lot of my matches, where I would just have these very unflexible hands that would only let me take damage and then hope to push back. And yeah, that's essentially not very good in Flesh and Blood, because not all games you are winning. Like, there will, especially in paper, weird stuff will happen, and you just need to be able to adapt on the fly. So yeah, my deck lists were usually just built to play out my hands. I can't really block with them, so yeah, if anything bad happens, I'm just screwed essentially. So that was the first thing I saw when I changed my list in the morning to the one of Bartosz. He plays a lot more cards that are very flexible, like Arcanic Crackle is a very good example. Blocks 3, attacks for 3, deals 1 Arcane. And the 1 Arcane gives you an Embodiment of Earth, which allows you to block more. And it just lets you play. It's funny because you can feel it during the matches. Like, the game you're playing is just way calmer. It's like you can adapt to what your opponent is doing. You're not like, when you draw your 4-card hand, you're like, oh please. Like, that's just not happening because the list is so consistent and it can adapt to anything your opponent is doing. And like, the way I really see decks now is like, it's not really like an offensive deck that just steamrolls your opponent. No, like, for me now, your deck needs to be a tool that can withstand like the normal flow of a game. So some games you're winning, it's good. Some games you're losing, it can be good. Have cards that get you back in the game. Have cards that deal with your opponent's playstyle. It sounds very simple, but I was actually surprised I didn't know this already. So yeah, that's what I really learned this weekend. Yeah, so let's just go over the Calling Day 1 matches. I'll talk about the list in a few or after that part. I do want to let you guys know, Bartosz and me, we filmed the deck tech with LSS, and it should be up today or tomorrow. And I think it went really well, and you can really see the mastery Bartosz has when it comes to deck building and how all the cards intertwine. So yeah, that should be a good way to start with the deck. Way better than I can explain. And then we also are working on a meta file which should release soon to get more in depth and get the deck list with the sideboard notes and like the detailed matchup knowledge. Like, there will be free deck tech for sure, but that's just for people that want to go the extra mile and get even more into it. Alright, so go to Finalizing, the best site for this stuff. So yeah, round 1 I played Daniel Colette, the guy I know from the Toxic server in the UK. They were all on Fi, which was a really scary choice. I think I had to go first this match, and it was kind of fast and funny match, because like in the middle of it we got our antiquity, or like not antiquity, the tournament pack. So before the last turn he said like, okay, let's just stop stressing and let's open our packs, and we did it. And then after finished the match, it was kind of funny. I was a bit sad to pair into someone round 1, but yeah, of course was myself happy. I started 1-0 with the list. Then second round played Rodrigo Iniguez from Mexico, if I remember correctly. It was quite fun to see someone from Mexico in London. We played the Briarmere. This was like the first Briarmere I played. I think it went pretty well. It was like a funny moment in a game where he blocked with the Bloodied Oval, and then also play the Sigil of Suffering, which made us get even life total. And it was an interaction I and he didn't have hadn't seen at that point. But it was like, wait, aren't you now equal life total? So does he get like 0 block now? And then that was pretty big for me there. So I ended up clutching that out. So yeah, at this point I was like really feeling like, okay, this deck list can block well, can attack well. Alright, I think I got something good here. But then round 3, I played Icelander, and this was one of the scarier matchups, because I knew Briar was the most represented deck. It would be targeted, and like with the new Icelander cards and the red line nature of Briar, I was like extremely scared of this. But I just decided to board in all my equipment and not use it to play around the new blue instant that makes a Frostbite in an exposed zone. And hopefully draw my blues and yellows when they would make Frostbites. And that exactly ended up happening. Like he couldn't really disrupt me. And I could get there in the end, because like Briar's numbers are crazy, like 4/4/4 and on hit burn up shock. It's hard for Icelander with a bit of less life total to deal with. So yeah, felt pretty good about it. Then round 4, played a KO Rush from the Runaways. I knew him, but I didn't know from where. And he said he normally wears a chef's hat, so I was like, oh yeah, you're that guy. And it was like it was a fun match. I think I got pretty lucky here, because my opponent Rush, he missed like 3 times on his draw discard, which like negged him like 5 or 6 value, and yeah, that's like huge in Sage, right? So ended up clutching that out. Was pretty happy there. Like 4, I was like, okay, I think this is going somewhere. At first I was really scared, because Sage is like such a low health format, right? So you're just scared some weird stuff is gonna happen. But yeah, up until this point, of course I got very lucky as well, but I felt like, okay, the game seemed doable, and it's actually kind of interesting, because like in CC you have to play somewhat faster, but here with 35 minutes you can actually really think hard about your blocks and decisions in general, because yeah, they are so much more impactful, right? Because you have half the life total, everything needs to be more calculated. So yeah, at this point I was like, okay, nice. Then round 5, this game was maybe the best game of the of the tournament. I totally forgot that I had this game against Pavel in a Briar Mirror. We both went to 1, and going to 1 in the Briar Mirror is like bound to finish like the next turn, because you have Sigil of Suffering, you have Burn Up Shock, you can play on your opponent's turn, and you have all these 4 attack that demand 2 cards if you are at 1. So every turn would be throw a 4 card attack, block it with 2 cards, throw a 4 into a 4, see if you can block, and then draw up and see if you can kill the opponent with arcane damage. But for some reason, I knew he had 2 burn up shocks left, so I was like, at some point, like my heart was beating so loud in my chest. I was like, please just let this be over soon. It was like, if either he kills me or I get killed here, because like I think he had like 10 cards left in his deck and he didn't see any burn up shock. I was like even doubting he still had it in his list. So yeah, at one point I just sent my attack and just closed my eyes when he drew up, and it was like he started blocking. I was like, oh my god, I'm still alive. I drew up my hand. It was a Sigil of Suffering and another burn up shock or something, and I luckily clutched it out. It was like such a sick game. Then round 6 versus Gianluigi Lia. I think this guy is known for playing Dory and usually the fatigue style, so I was like, okay, this will be a tough matchup because I'm not very good against fatigue. But he was playing Oldhim, and this was a match that was very rough for me because I wasn't very experienced against Oldhim. I think this is the first match I played against Oldhim, so I got kind of lucky. I only saw one this tournament. I got by some tricks like the ice react. It's like been years since I played against Oldhim. He ice reacted my evergreen, which was like my only tool against fatigue. to the top when I had 2, so I drew another, and like my burn up shocks came in the first 2 hands, so this game was just battling against my deck. It still got kind of close, but no, like he was just taking damage because he could demand cards from me because I was also so low. So then I was like, okay, this was kind of what I was afraid of. Hope it doesn't happen again. But yeah, there were 9 rounds day 1, by the way. I was like, okay, day 1's almost finished, but no, there's still 3 more rounds. Round 7 played another mirror against Sean Nolden. I knew this guy was very good because he ended the top 16 in Worlds. And this was like a Briar mirror where we both thought very long. I actually really like the Briar mirrors because it feels like at first like, oh, if you lose a die roll you lose, but like there's so much agency in a mirror and like, there's so many big decisions you can make. So yeah, the fun thing Sean played was like yellow Sigils of Suffering, which were kind of scary. Just means you're even less safe on your turn when you're low. But yeah, I ended up clutching that out. Then round 8 I played first Aurora. At first I was like, okay, why is Aurora better than Briar, or what can Aurora do? But then when my opponent revealed his legs, which were like the temper legs that gets +1 if you've dealt arcane damage, I was like, oh, it's like a heavy arcane build. But yeah, this game I went second. It was like a non-game, if I'm being honest. I just went second with a burn-up shock turn, which hit. I ended like with a snatch or something. I think I finished at like 4 health, and I even played around like triple shock on his turn. Like I was in a position to do that, so yeah, went pretty well. Then round 9, the last round of the day, played against Ethan Krogsgaard, I think from Austria. We had like a nice talk before the game about like about studying, and the game in general was pretty cool. And yeah, he beat me fair and square with Briar in the mirror. He did play the Fry and Electrostatic Discharge package, and that was something that I was on, but then it showed the power in this match because he also played Bracers of Belief, which I didn't play. I played the block equipment, and this matchup really showed the power of Bracers of Belief because I wanted to keep my hand, but because he got 2 extra attack on it, I had to block, and that just totally lost me the game. So I was like, okay, that stinks too. Because like I ended up 7-2. I really wanted to finish 8-1, so this loss was kind of the most stingy loss I had. But it was good. Like it just, if you end up X2, the chance is you have to go either 4-0 or 5-0 the next day. So it's like the last round of day 1 is like bigger than you think. But yeah, all good. 7-2, made day 2. That's a goal. I was happy with it. Just went back to the venue, or like to the Airbnb. Had some dinner, and yeah, got back for day 2. Round 10, Briar, lost the die roll. My opponent let me go first. I was like, that's already not good. But then the hand I drew was like Burn Up Shock, Second Strike, Lightning Press, and another card I forgot. But those 3 were kind of the most important ones. And this is where I really started to feel like, okay, there's also some non-games in Sage, because like at turn 0 you can't really respect Burn Up Shock into Lightning Press. It's like, my opponent started at 12, he went second. It was like I went second because he was so low. I could just say non-blocks and demand cards on the next turn, and yeah, went pretty well. So I won that one. Round 11, I played against Matthew Duggan, also someone from the Toxic server. From the UK. I punted so bad in this match because I thought like, oh, this is like the Briar matchup, this is like aggro. Again, Matthew had like a lot of misses that nagged him value, which otherwise I would have definitely lost. And then also on top of that, because I thought, hey, it's like the Briar matchup, I had Arcane Polarity in my deck. It was such an embarrassing moment to sit at the top tables and draw Arcane Polarity versus KO. Luckily, I could just pitch it to Starfall, so it wasn't really that bad. But yeah, ended up clutching it out. Then round 12, I played against my good friend Sander Neeft on Fang. This was like the fatigue build my friends were playing, and I was pretty scared because I couldn't win against this build. Started off as a really close game, but I managed to pitch away my Bramble Sparks, and then in second cycle play a huge Kizik with Go again into some other attacks to get him low. And then eventually I was like so fatigued at this point. But here really the deck building prowess of Bartosz showed, because I had just naturally pitched away like blue flourish, yellow flourish, and a very important card that is here, Trip to Light Fantastic. At the last turn of the game, I Arsenal Lightning Press. I drew just naturally into those blue and yellow cards, and you could play Flourish, Trip to Light Fantastic, and with a Lightning Press could give it like plus 8. I think it was like a blue Flourish. So yeah, it was like, okay, this deck is amazing. I managed to win purely because of that. I didn't like pitch deck anything. It was just how it ended up naturally. So okay, I didn't have any real nerves until that point. I was just sad to play my good friend Sander, because this both was like the winning in before the winning in essentially. But yeah, now I had to win it, and I actually felt really nervous. Also playing like a great player like Matthew Falks. Matthew Falks won a Pro Tour with Briar, so it was like, this is gonna be a tough one. And I didn't even realize he got back playing. He was wearing like a hat, so not very recognizable. But yeah, this matchup was like, oh my god, I'm so happy I won this, because it was such a hard match. It was like also really the body language aspect of Flesh and Blood, where you're like, how do you fake that you have certain cards? Because Lightning Press is like such a huge card, and Sigil of Suffering too. It's like if you can suss out your opponent has these cards, you can do a lot. And I felt like this game we really took our time. I think we played like the full 35 minutes or close to it. And in the end, I just won because I had Arcane Polarity, which Matthew Falks, he took a break and he didn't really know of that card, which gave me like 4 life out of nowhere and managed me to win. So yeah, at that point I was like, okay, I think I'm locked if everything is correct. But then Sami Vex, another friend of mine, showed me the standings, and it was like, we're both locked. So it was like, okay, that's amazing. I was really happy, but I never can really believe it if I see the final standings, because I don't know why, but that's just how I work. So round 14, I played Kieran Lee on Dorinthia. This was like the Team Sigil Great X Dorinthia list. I had heard of it a bit in the tournament, but I honestly thought they were gonna fatigue me, so I just sided in my evergreens, all my anti-fatigue. And I have to say, was playing a little bit more loose, because it was like, I'm probably locked. So, but yeah, I just didn't play very well. He did, so he ended up winning that one. And yeah, after that, final standings were shown. I was 7th, really happy to make another top 8, especially since I was so stressed about testing. So yeah. I made it. It was great. Alright, so top 8. The first match I played against the deck of the tournament, maybe the Sigil Dorinthia Great X deck again. And this is where I started to see like, okay, this deck is like more of an aggro deck than a fatigue deck, because like they're not presenting AB, they're not fatiguing, they're choosing to go second and hoping to see a felling swing, or hitting with their Great X and popping their boots to give it go again, and just send a lot of damage and just be the more consistent aggro deck than Briar. So it was also hard, because it was like, okay, they know I just boarded in all my anti-fatigue against their teammate, so what do I do now? Do I still present my anti-fatigue, or do I go aggro? But I was just kind of too afraid to make like the gamble, because it was like, they can also do something else. So I just stayed with my anti-fatigue. The game ended up being pretty decided by the burn-up shock I had. Was streamed. It was like a huge burn-up shock turn. I managed to get the lead and win from there. It's not on here yet, but top 4 played against Niels, Belgian KO. This match was I would say this felt good to play this match because here's my luck showing again. I don't know what is happening lately, but I'm just getting so lucky. It's crazy. Because like I knew at a point I just drew up my hand. I was behind already. I see like buffs and a Jack B quick. And I'm like, I don't even have a nimblism in my graveyard. Like I can't play this hand. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep my Weave Lightning. I'm gonna Arsenal it because I haven't seen any Entwine Lightnings or Second Strike or Lightning Surge. I'm just gonna block 9 and hope he bricks. That was just my plan. Now, it looks very stupid, but I think it actually was maybe a bit more calculated because he also played block cards. So if I pass and he draws those, you can really do anything with them except pitch them for 1 because they can't be arsenaled. And that's exactly what happened. He drew a block card and he drew 3 blues and could only send 5. And then I drew up my hand and I see Snatch, Burn Up Shock, Lightning Press. And I don't know what else it was, like another non-attack. Yeah, I saw this hand and I'm like, okay, I think I win with this hand just because I have the Lightning Press, Burn Up Shock, but I need to be very careful about my body language. So yeah, I played the Weave Lightning, played the Burn Up Shock, gave my Snatch go again, and here was like, I don't have another elemental attack to get the Weave Lightning buff. And if he somehow susses out that I don't have it and I sees that I'm not confident about his attack, I'll just lose the game because he can block 7, right? It's a very weird play to make, but it is definitely possible. It is maybe even a winning play you could make that some people actually would make if they're confident in reading your body language. So yeah, played Snatch. Luckily he blocked 4. I pressed it and that felt so good. Afterwards it didn't. It was just like the optimal play. It wasn't really anything special I did, but it was just thought I knew it would look cool on stream. So yeah, that felt good. And then in the finals, played against Kieran Lee again. Keep matching into him in the top 8 of the calling because I also saw him in London in the top 4. Where he played a Cilio and I played a turn 0 Amulet of Echoes. So it was like, okay, in my head it was like, okay, this guy got all the karma, he got all the storyline to beat me in the finals. I'm never gonna win 2 callings in this short amount of time. So it was actually like, before these rounds I wasn't as nervous because I was just, I made something good, let's just try to make the best of it. I wasn't like really nervous, but then in the finals was like, wait, if I win this, I've won 2 callings. I don't think there are a lot of people who've done that. So I actually started to get really nervous and really stressed. And he chose to go second. So I was like, okay, this is like do or die. I'm going to side out all my anti-fatigue stuff because I know these guys are going aggro. If they're going to fatigue me, whatever. I'm just taking the gamble. It's kind of what like Jacob Clemens did against me in calling Valencia, where he started to full fatigue me with Mario and I didn't realize it. I was like, okay, I feel like confident I can do this too. In the end, like it didn't really matter that I had the D-Reacts and the Arcane. Oh wait, it actually did matter because I boarded in the Arcane Siege live. Which allowed me to live from. I just realized this now. It allowed me to live on the overpower. Otherwise, I would definitely not have played it against fatigue. So it's actually funny that I got rewarded for that risk. But yeah, like that turn, I knew he had the red overpower. I was just drawing up my hands, and I was like, yeah, I'll probably die here because it just felt like the calling winning play, right? You take a lot of damage. I can't really respect the overpower, because then I have to block it with a card from my hand. It gets buffed even more because of the reprise. So yeah, I just see my hand, I see the live, and I'm like, wow, I think this lets me live at 1. But I just made sure like 10 times over. That's why it took so long on stream, because I was like, does this work? Does it work? Like, imagine if you're in a calling final, you want to like triple, quadruple check everything. So yeah, and then after it got really close, because we were like both at 1, he had shunt in his decks. He had shunts in his deck, and I had to attack him with Starfall there to win. I don't know if I knew of it, but I was also so tired and so stressed that it didn't really matter in the end. And I don't know if I would have played around to shunt if he would have blocked differently. But I'm just very glad it went the way it went, and I managed clutching it out. And yeah, wow, what a feeling! Like everyone cheering for you and friends coming to you again, and like yeah, it was amazing. It somehow felt better than Valencia, because I felt like I just got extremely lucky in those matchups, and here it just felt like I played a bit better and played a bit more calmly, and I could also really enjoy the moment more. Like I started cheering on camera. I'm normally not that emotional in public, so yeah, that was nice, nice for my own. For myself, and yeah, that's how I won the calling. It's so crazy to me still that it happened. Yeah, I'm feeling super blessed that I'm been able to win 2 callings, and yeah, I'm super happy with it, and let's see where the year takes me. All right, so yeah, lastly, heavily thanks to Bartosz Zemba and to make a kind of a sales pitch for our Metify that we are gonna make. This is the list. We're updating it slightly. When we made the deck tag with LSS, like we made it in person, I just sat next to Bartosz, because like I can't explain the deck as well as like the maker of it, right? Like he knows all the synergies, and he made like every card with a conscious decision. Like it maybe doesn't look like it, but literally every single card has a very important role, and if like only one card is performing a little bit, or it's like underperforming a little bit, it just goes away. So yeah, this list is just extremely well built together, and even sitting next to Bartosz, I actually started learning from what he was saying, because he was explaining it in such simple terms, and I always really like that. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for and the LSS deck tag and our Metify. I really hope yeah, you guys find use in it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks so much for the support, everyone congratulating me. It was amazing. I'm super happy I get to make a new YouTube video this week. I hope I get a new subject next week to keep the train rolling. Yeah, but thanks so much, and see you in the next video.